Fragrance-free hair care that's Dermatologist, yeah, that's me, tested. Paul Mitchell recently released a fragrance-free hair care line that yours truly, the guinea pig, has been testing out. I'm ready to talk about it, and I'm ready to talk about what specifically you need to know before considering buying this. Because if you're someone who likes fragrance-free hair care, chances are you've already bought it, because we don't have a lot of options out there as far as fragrance-free hair care. First of all, why would fragrance-free hair care even be a thing that we should ever consider? Like, who doesn't love an apple scent, a floral scent? It's part of the zen of washing your scalp to smell like a rose garden. I get it. I love a strongly scented shampoo. I'm not going to pretend like I don't. Why does fragrance-free matter? Well, here's the thing. Some people develop allergies to ingredients in their hair care products, just like people develop allergies to ingredients in skincare products, household cleansers, and one of the most common allergens is fragrance. So if you are allergic to fragrance, you have to avoid it. Otherwise, you will get a rash that is miserable, and the rash will get worse so long as you continue to use fragrance. And you have to eliminate contact with fragrance, not just in your hair care, but obviously your skincare, personal care items. I mean, it really becomes quite a pain. And it's wonderful now that this brand, Paul Mitchell, which has been around for a long time, has a fragrance-free line, which we're going to talk about. But it's not just fragrance. You can become allergic to pretty much any ingredient. Fragrance is one of the more common allergens that causes problems for people. But in hair care products specifically, another family, we'll say, of ingredients that commonly cause allergic contact dermatitis after sensitization happens are the thiazolinone preservatives, methylchloroisothiazolinone and methyl isothiazolinone. I'm always pointing these out, for example, in my Dollar Tree shopping videos, because a lot of the products in Dollar Tree will end up using these preservatives, and they are relatively sensitizing in the grand landscape of ingredients and very common causes of allergic contact dermatitis. You also can develop allergies to different surfactants in shampoos, conditioning products. Cocamidol propylbutane is a common one, as is decyl glucoside. Many people will go their entire lives without ever developing allergy to any ingredient or allergic contact dermatitis. I would say that's the vast majority. Some people are at greater risk, namely if you have atopic dermatitis. That is a condition where you have an impaired skin barrier. You're more likely to become sensitized to ingredients that come in contact with the skin. Also, another thing that plays a role is how often and how much you're using. You're more likely to develop an allergy to fragrance because we use it in a lot of things. Here's an important point though. You are unlikely to develop the allergy to any ingredient as a result of using it in shampoo products that are rinsed off. Rinse-off products are far less likely to be on the skin long enough for your immune system to decide, oh, we don't like that. We do not like that. More than likely, someone becomes sensitized to fragrance or certain preservative because they have been using it in other things that are left on the skin, especially if they're left on the skin and that individual has atopic dermatitis. Then that's kind of like a double hitter, especially also if they're using multiple things, having repeat exposures throughout the day, using various products. That's really where it starts to become more risky. In other words, if you're not allergic to fragrance in shampoos and conditioners, there's really no need to avoid it aside from personal preferences. You also can develop irritation to products, not necessarily a specific ingredient in the product, but the overall formulation. When it comes to scalp irritation as a result of shampoos, conditioners, hair care products, one of the most common reasons that people develop this is not necessarily from the shampoo itself, as they use that in the scalp primarily, but rather how they're using it. So if you are shampooing and rinsing out conditioner or whatever, using really, really hot water, and you're in the shower for a really long time, that hot water actually can dry out the scalp quite a bit. Also, some shampoos I have found are a lot more difficult to rinse out. This is especially true if you have curly hair. You know, you gotta get on in there. You have more going on to kind of get in the way of water accessing your scalp. And if you use too much product, you might end up leaving behind a scalp residue, and those surfactants left on the skin can end up drying out your scalp and being particularly irritating. But not shampooing the scalp is another reason for scalp irritation, because the oils left behind on the scalp, they oxidize, they become very inflammatory, and they favor overgrowth of Malassezia yeast. All of those things in the setting of infrequent shampooing get much worse, much more severe, and dandruff becomes a real issue. So scalp cleansing is necessary. And as far as allergic contact dermatitis to something, how to know what shampoo is not going to cause that. Before you go searching for a shampoo, the most important thing is to know what exactly you're allergic to. While fragrance is one of the most common ones, fragrance, you could be allergic to something else. And so that something else might even be present in this Paul Mitchell line. There is no fragrance in any of these products. Woohoo! There is no methylchloroisothiazolinone or methyl isothiazolinone in any of these products. Woohoo! Because as a side note, I do believe some of their other shampoos do contain that ingredient, or at least they did at one point. The Essential shampoo is clear, it's colorless, it has cocamidal propylbutane in it, which is great, you know, that's fine. But like I said, it is a possible allergen. Hence why, if you have allergic contact dermatitis, before you go buying any shampoo, you need to know what it is you're allergic to. You need to see a dermatologist. They do patch testing. If you're allergic to cocamidal propylbutane, you don't know it. Oh, I'm going to buy this sensitive line because I have scalp issues. Well, you're going to run into problems because it's got cocamidal propylbutane, and that might be what it is that is your issue. Also has sodium lauryl sarcosinate. It's a really mild shampoo overall. Like, it rinses out of the scalp well. It doesn't generate a real robust foamy lather, but it does lather. And I was a little skeptical that this might leave a residue on my hair of oiliness, like it might not be robust enough to remove excess oil. It did the job. It's a great daily shampoo for daily scalp cleansing needs. I would say though, if you have a lot of product residue on your scalp, I think this shampoo may be a bit too mild to really get product buildup off efficiently. It removed the oil out of my scalp. I didn't have greasy hair using this. And importantly, it rinsed out quickly, efficiently, and easily, cutting down ultimately on the amount of water I had to use to remove it, cutting down on any potential for shampoo residue to be left behind, because even though the surfactants are mild, you wouldn't want to leave them on the skin. It can be very irritating in a shampoo formula. And also cut down on my shower time because it's in, lathered out. Good. The conditioner kind of tripped me up mentally a bit because it's clear, it's colorless, and it's just like, wow, the psychology of using conditioner. I have been conditioned, no pun intended, that conditioner is like opaque, right? It's opaque, it's creamy, and this looks an awful lot like shampoo. In fact, like, they need to, I don't know, put a different color top on the conditioner bottle because it's really easy to get them confused. One has an S on it and one has a C, so you got to look for that. But it's really easy to go reach for the shampoo and accidentally grab the conditioner. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. But yeah, mentally it kind of tripped me up because I don't know, somehow I just didn't believe it was going to work, right? It's weird. Cetrimonium chloride, commonly found in conditioners. So nothing about its ingredients would suggest it wouldn't be an effective conditioner. It's just, wow, it not being opaque and creamy and looking as exactly like shampoo, I didn't believe it was going to work. Interestingly enough, I ended up using this, even though I don't normally put conditioner up by my scalp, I ended up using it up by my scalp a couple of times just to try that out. And it really worked out well. It didn't leave behind a greasy residue or weigh down my hair. Left my hair soft, smooth, manageable. The purpose of conditioner though is not to moisturize your scalp. It's a common misconception. Conditioner is intended for your hair strands because after you shampoo and you rinse the shampoo cleanser out, you have this little charge deposited on the strands, which if you don't condition can make the hair really unmanageable, frizzy, prone to tangling, prone to breakage. So conditioner helps neutralize the charge on the strands. You don't need to put conditioner in your scalp. It's not meant to go there. It's just additional, albeit very mild, surfactant exposure to the scalp. It's not formulated to moisturize skin. It's meant to neutralize a charge on the hair strands. But for the most part, I usually just direct conditioner to like from my ear down because I have long hair for neutralizing that charge. But I used it up here and it kind of helped because, you know, sometimes you get those little frizzies up here. It really helped with that and did not make my hair look like it was weighed down with product. Now, those of you who have watched my videos for a while, you know, I'm really fond of these hair oils. I say that in air quotes because they're not oils in the like sense that you think of, like argan oil, jojoba oil, which are really popular to use in hair, but rather silicone oils, which I love on my hair because they impart gloss, they impart shine, they impart some manageability. They have this clear smoothing serum, which is basically a silicone hair oil. Only 3 ingredients, and silicones, as a side note, very low likely for contact dermatitis. Isododecane, dimethicone, and dimethicanol. That's it. Those are the only ingredients. This product works well for improving shine, manageability, kind of sealing split ends a bit, cutting down on fragility and breakage. It imparts gloss, it imparts shine, manageability, but I will say it is a little on the thick side and dispersion into the hair. You have to be really strategic with putting it in the hair. If you're real quick in and out, it's going to end up glomming onto parts of your hair and making it look greasy, and other parts are untouched. So they do sell a wide tooth comb, which I bought because I wanted to try that out. And I do recommend recommend just putting a little bit of the product in your palms, heating it up a little bit by rubbing your palms together so that it'll spread onto your hair more efficiently, and then combing it through. Do it on damp hair, at least that's what worked for me. You can do this on dry hair, which may work for you, but for me it was like absolutely not. If I put this product or products like this on dry hair, I end up looking like I got dirty hair. I have to use it on damp hair that I have towel dried with a microfiber towel, so most of the water is out, and I just use it to my ends, and then I have to comb it. I have to comb it through to get it on the strands more evenly, and it ended up being fine. Not mind-blowing, but it did the job. Now here's a product that really took me by surprise, and one I've used quite a bit of, and I do see myself repurchasing, which completely surprised me, and it's the Styling Glaze. Now this is a light hold hair gel, which I have I won't say never, but I've never used a hair gel like in my adult life. I used to use them all the time when I was in ballet to like get that slick back crunchy helmet, okay, and dippity do, you know, that's what I used back then. Wow, the crunchy shell, and I don't want that in my day-to-day life, so I stay away from hair gels. Well, let me tell you, I played around with this and it did not disappoint. When they say light hold, they're not joking, okay? If you need to style your hair and have actual hold, this is not going to do it. This is not going to do it, but it does provide a little bit of a tiny bit of hold, but importantly, it really just cuts down on the frizz, and it exhibits this interesting property in that it kind of works with the humidity to reactivate a bit. I feel as though it does, okay? It kind of suggests that it might, because it says something in the language of the how-to that it works with moisture and reactivates, or I think it says something like that. Anyway, it's super humid where I live, and you have to equip your hair accordingly, and for me, that usually just entails wearing my hair in a bun to protect it from the humidity swelling it up and turning it into a fluff ball. But this product has really helped keep my hair frizz-free, manageable, zero crunch, zero residue. Just looking at the hair, you don't really see that. It also imparts good definition. So if you have curly hair, I think you would like this gel. Now, speaking of curly hair, I noticed a lot of people on TikTok influenced me in how I tried this product and really found it ended up working, in that they often use a lot of styling products, curl defining type products, I guess, on hair that is like soaking wet. So they don't towel dry it before putting the product on. And I don't know the reasons behind all of that, but I did try it out. I did try that approach out with this, and it was amazing. So basically, as soon as I turned the water off in the shower, my hair is like dripping wet. I didn't wring it out, resisted the urge, and just got the gel and put it all over my hair, including up here. And then, I don't know if this is how most people do this, but then I just gently wrung out the excess water, put it in the microfiber towel, and then combed it through. And it's amazing because you can definitely tell that there's a little bit of something there that is offering hold, but it's not crunchy. In contrast to the smoothing serum, this ends up going on dry hair really well. Now, if you're too heavy-handed with it, it will make the hair kind of crunchy. Not anywhere near what a heavy hold, if you will, hair gel does. Not that degree of crunch, but you will feel a little something. But this is a hair gel that you can put on dry hair and not have it be crunchy in general. If you work it through and you're not too heavy-handed with it, it won't dry down crunchy. And if it does dry down crunchy, you can kind of mist it a bit. And like I said, it sort of works with the moisture and calms everything down. I was most impressed by the styling gel. So overall, I think this hair care line is great. The shampoo and the conditioner are wonderful. They do the job. They're effective. They don't leave a residue behind, but they're kind of expensive. They're like $20 a piece. And for $20 a piece, I think that personally, I would just stick with the CeraVe fragrance-free hydrating hair care, their shampoo and conditioner. That's great. This, maybe you find it works a little better for your hair, in which case, yeah, go ahead. But I really haven't found that it's like noteworthy as far as how my hair is above and beyond that, and that's more affordable. The smoothing serum I would repurchase because I do like those, but I likely won't because there are a bunch of other serums out there with silicone-based ingredients for doing the same thing that I want to try out. So I have more homework to do on others, but this is one I would repurchase for my own personal needs and what I like. It does require a little bit of finesse, but it works, it does the job, and I love that it's just the 3 ingredients. So great if you have more sensitive skin and product residues can aggravate your skin. The styling glaze, though, might just be a new addition to my hair care routine, which is really surprising. So if you're someone who has developed wavy hair as you've gotten older, which can happen, you know, your hair texture can change with age, as I mentioned in my video all about unexpected changes in your 40s, then yeah, you might find that you're struggling a bit bit with how to style your hair, this has been something that has been really helpful. It hasn't weighed down my hair or made it greasy, but rather has just kind of helped give it some better control and definition. All right, y'all, let me know in the comments though, have you tried this? I bet you have already if you're someone who is allergic to fragrance and you're already hunting out all of the time for fragrance-free this, that, and the other. Let me know how it worked out for you. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.